going to show you how to roll the lower body. And so we're going to start off by rolling our calves by sitting directly on the floor, and then we can do 2 legs at one time by putting your ankles over the foam roller and then sliding up your calf muscles, back and forth, up and down. And then your calf muscles, they have 3 heads of attachments of muscles when you get to the thicker part of the calf. What you can do is move your legs or your feet, legs and feet, from side to side, right to left, putting pressure on those muscles, being able to release those 3 attachments. On the lateral side, the medial side, sides of your calf muscles. And continue to roll back and forth until you feel like you've got a really good release. Now, if you wanted more pressure, or say one side was had more tension than the other, you can actually put, put your one foot over the other, crossing your legs, and then that applies more pressure to that area, that muscle. And even if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, you can lift your glute off the floor and roll back and forth. And that applies all of your pressure, all of the weight is specialized on that one pressure that's hitting the foam roller. All right, even it out on the other side. And then you can move up to your calves. You want to stay off the back of your knees and not put as much pressure there when you're foam rolling. Due to the fact it's really sensitive, there's a lot of nerves back there, and you don't want to damage that. It's not as much muscle, it's tendon and nerves. And so you can roll all the way up to the back of your thighs, getting a good release. And one of my favorite stretches is stretching out your sciatic nerve, especially if you have a lot of pain from sitting or standing too long. And so just sitting on top of the foam roller and being able to roll your bones on top of the foam roller helps to release your glute muscles. And then to get a deeper stretch in your sciatic nerve and your piriformis, you want to get into this area. And so the best way to do that is to put one foot over your opposite knee, so like a figure 4 in a seated position, and then leaning towards that side where the foot is up and moving back and forth. And like when you find that area, that groove of your piriformis muscle, even lean into it just a little more. And making sure that you're breathing through every time that you find a good pressure point. Because that breath is what's going to allow for the muscles to release. And then make sure you want to even out the other side. Crossing that foot over the knee in a figure 4. Moving back and forth and being able to lean into that area and breathe. Feels amazing. And hurts all at the same time. That's how you know it's working. But you want to make sure you're not putting yourself in danger by putting too much pressure or being in constant, intolerable pain. That doesn't work. All right. And now that's the posterior side of the body. So now we're going to do the anterior side of the body, which is the front side. And we're going to go ahead and just like you're getting into a push-up or a plank position. You're going to rest your hips, the top of your thighs, on top of the foam roller. And then with your arms and hands using to stabilize you, and your feet, your toes dragging on the ground, on the floor, we're just going to gently move in a back and forth position to help release the tension in your thighs. And then if you want to get a deeper release, what you can do is bend your knees so that your feet are facing the sky, and then wiggle side to side, and you'll feel it start to open up on the side that you're leaning on, and it just gets a little bit deeper release into your quad muscles, which are one of your biggest muscles in the body. Perfect. And you can also release the sides of your legs by stabilizing yourself with your arm on whatever side you choose, and then placing the foam roll across your leg muscles, and then slowly leaning into that side. And now it's extremely sensitive on your sides. There's a lot of nerves, there's muscles in play, and they're not used to this much amount of pressure on them. So you want to make sure that you guide yourself by stabilizing with your arms, and also using your other hand as a guide, and your feet grounded. Now if you wanted more pressure, you can totally extend your feet out. I like keeping one foot on the ground. It does add a little bit more pressure, and at the same time allows me to stabilize so that the muscle is relaxed onto the foam roller. And then move back and forth in that area. And then you're going to want to make sure that you rotate and do the same on the opposite side. So I'm going to move to the opposite side. And you can even move back and forth from anterior, front, to sideline position. Making sure that you breathe through each time that you find that area that needs more attention. And so there's another foam rolling position that I love, and if you're a basketball player, do a lot of running, on, you're a runner and you run on concrete. Some people get shin splints, and when it feels like shin splints, not because their leg's gonna break, but because this muscle that runs all the way down the lateral side of your leg, it just gets really tight and tense, and you can use a ball to get in there and roll it out, a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, or a massage ball. But what I enjoy doing is putting my legs, my shins over it. And so you're kind of like kneeling. You're not kind of like, you are kneeling with your hands stabilizing you, and then putting your leg, your knee, leaning with your knee over the foam roller, and then just gently rolling back and forth, forward and back. And then you can even, when you find like that pressure point, you can lean your body over to that side as well. And then just back and forth. And that helps to release all the pressure and tension in that muscle all the way down to the ankle. And then make sure you get the other side as well. So that it stays even. Sometimes I like to do both at the same time. It just feels good, and it's awesome to balance on this thing if you're a kid at heart and just want to play around. But this foam rolling exercise really does help release that tension there in your shins and the front of your legs. And so that is the foam roll for your lower body. Thank you for tuning in. Aloha.